If you ever wanted to know how you can be more charismatic, well, buddy, you clicked on the right video. The charismatic tricks that I'm going to talk about today will help you develop that charismatic personality and become a lot more likable by a variety of people. Being charismatic will help you achieve more things in your life, but specifically in your love life. You will start attracting opportunities like a magnet with your inspirational, interesting, fascinating, and curious personality. Now, the meaning of charisma is to exercise a compelling charm which inspires devotion in others. Basically, if you can turn on that charm, then you can attract the ladies. So let's dive into these charismatic tricks that men use that girls adore so that you can attract more ladies and achieve a lot more in your life. Let's go. You need to start by valuing yourself. Now, let's be real, you cannot be charismatic and execute the tricks I'm going to teach you if you don't value yourself. Now, I'm not telling you to never question yourself. Of course, you should want to improve yourself all of the time, but this does not mean that you are not already valuable, because you are. Believe that you are valuable just the way that you are, and if you don't think that already, then you need to start working towards it so that you can be truly charismatic. Avoid one-upping her at all costs. This is something we all do from time to time. You might be on a date, for example, with a girl that you really like. After a few drinks, she starts telling you about something amazing that she's achieved at work. Now, instead of saying, "Well done, that's amazing," you start telling her a story about when you did something better. Now, you might not even realize that you're doing it, and this is something we often do when we are trying to make a connection with someone. But actually, it's quite sad, but it comes across that you're trying to one-up her, and it makes you look a little bit desperate. Now, of course, you do not want to look desperate at all. You want to make sure that you always look charismatic and confident. So instead, listen to what she has to say and then congratulate her and tell her how amazing you think she is. And she will find out in due time all about your achievements, and it will come across a lot better if you wait for it to come up naturally without intruding on her conversation. Don't be cheap. Charismatic men are never cheap, and it's a good trait to save money and be savvy with what you spend. It shows a lady that you could provide for her later on and that you can really look after yourself. Now, the trick that charismatic men use is that they offer to arrange the date. Then they take the lady to a nice restaurant. They don't go outrageously expensive, but they kind of up the charm a little. On that date, do not mention how much you earn and don't talk about expensive things. It's not humble, we don't like that. And steer the conversation in a different direction. Instead, let her order anything she likes and pay at the end. This will make you look generous and not cheap, because if you're talking about how much money you make, it shows you're concerned about spending it. And you obviously do not want to be showing off, otherwise you won't look charismatic. Be respectful. Charismatic men are never disrespectful to a lady, and actually they're never disrespectful to anyone. They are polite to everyone, from the waiters in the restaurant to the old lady down the street. They offer to help people out, and they say their pleases and their thank yous. And these types of men are also really respectful of women. A charismatic man keeps it PG and believes in treating his lady right. And women can pick up on this as soon as they meet a man. It makes them more likely to go for them, which would increase your rate of success with the ladies. Don't talk about your ex-girlfriends. Charismatic men never speak about their exes. It's a simple no-go. Women hate hearing about the women that men have been with in the past. It's a real turn-off and can make a woman jealous early on. When you mention another lady, the one that you are on a date with is going to assume that you still have feelings for your ex. Why would you be mentioning her otherwise? Although she might keep dating you, she will always have this cloud hanging over her, wondering if you still have feelings. A charismatic man does not need to speak about his ex to fill in the silence. He has a lot of topics that he can talk about, and he has a lot of questions that he already has to ask the girls. So if you are wanting to appear charismatic, then you need to quit talking about your ex-girlfriends and talk about more interesting topics. Steer clear of all of the sensitive issues. Okay, talking about your ex-girlfriend, it's a sensitive topic, but you should also steer clear of sensitive issues as well. Although you might feel clever when you start talking about conspiracy theories, the girl that you are on a date with probably doesn't want to do that too. Now, especially on your first date, try to stay away from those very diverse topics. Keep the conversation light and focus mostly on her. You could ask her about how she found lockdown, and you don't need to ask her what she feels about the whole vaccine stuff. You can just keep it light as possible. Talk about anything that you can and bring it up with confidence. Be cool. Keep calm, stay cool, and act cool. It can be nerve-wracking when you meet a lady and it's normal to feel a little bit nervous. We all feel like that from time to time, but try to remember that she's probably feeling a little bit anxious too. This might help you to be able to manage your nerves and put across a confident version of yourself. And remember, ladies find confidence very attractive. Act happy. The reason this point is called act happy is because not everyone actually feels happy all of the time. Not even those charismatic guys that you see out there are happy all the time. Sure, they might be confident and sure of themselves, but they're not always happy. It's something that we have to actively work on. So when you are on a date or just around a girl that you like, it's important to act happy and kind of fake it, even when you don't really feel it. You can do this by smiling a lot and speaking in a more lively tone. Make sure you laugh as much as possible as well, and she won't be able to tell the difference. To her, you will seem very charismatic and uber confident. Charm her. This is a huge part of being charismatic, and therefore it's a trick that you can use. You should be able to charm a lady if you are able to be truly charismatic. But how do you do this? It's actually not as difficult as you think. Some examples are to use some longer words, but not so long that she doesn't understand them. Speak in a slightly lower voice and a bit slower. Compliment her as well along the way. Use your eye contact, which can be really powerful, and flash her a slight sly smile. All of these things will keep you charming any lady. Keep things simple. You don't need to make things complicated from the words that you use to the way that you act. Just keep it simple and remember to be yourself. The most charismatic trick that you can use is something that I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, and it's being yourself. Valuing yourself and being confident in yourself is going to help. If you have all of these things, then you will always come across as charismatic, and any lady would be lucky to have you. Work on eye contact. A girl can pick up on your anxiousness just from your eye contact alone. She can tell when you are looking around the room instead of at her that you are not interested or that you're feeling nervous. Now, this is not how charismatic guys look at all. Instead, he's going to look straight at her in the eye, grab a glance from across the room. It might take some practice, but once you nail it, you will be known as the charismatic guy. If you think I missed something from today's video, let me know down in the comments. Give me a huge thumbs up and consider subscribing to make my day. But if you want to get your name rolling up next to my face, like these amazing people's names here, then all you have to do is click the link in the description bar below to find out a little bit more. Have an amazing day. See you soon.